Hey, what's going on YouTube? Juniio here, and I'm back again with another viewer request. I'm back again with another reaction video, and I'm back again with another Japanese band, Nihongo desu. I'm counting on you again, Japan. Rekindle my will to live. But before we get started, as always, episode sponsored by RuneGate Studio. Please go subscribe here. At least check it out if you haven't already. I promise you won't regret it. So the song we're doing today is another DIR song. It's been a little while since the last time, about 5 months, I guess. And the song we're doing is the one that's been requested the most by you guys, and that is Decayed Crow live symphonic version, as requested by Ranga Wayu Zero Delacroix Chris Nerwith. Nailed it. Thanks to all of you for suggesting this song. I really appreciate it, and of course everybody else following their example. Leave your suggestions in the comments down below, and the next video could be yours. I've got the lyrics up here. I've got both the English translation as well as the Romanji, I guess, just transcription. So I can at least try and follow along in a place, and then I can go back and then read up to where we left off. We'll see how it goes. Apparently this song's pretty chaotic. It's pretty non-stop action. I feel like I don't really have to explain DIR and Grey to you. They're just one of those very experimental, some might call them avant-garde Japanese metal bands. I haven't listened a lot, but I remember the last video I did for them, I was quite impressed. So I don't know. What can I say? I'm always down for some crazy off the rails Japanese metal. Their song Obscure has been recommended to me to cover during my Friday Filth series, so maybe I'll get to them again at some point. Who knows? For now, we're just going to jump right into this song, Decayed Crow. Here we go. Ooh. Man, listen to those lows. Okay. All right, I need to pause it there. I need a little break. I thought I would be able to follow along with the Romanji stuff, but I'm having a bit of a difficult time, to say the least. So we're just gonna scrap that idea. Bye. We're gonna just try and guess where we're at. You know, as far as the music goes, the first thing that struck me was, of course, this guy's got crazy range, but I don't think I've really heard like his lows before, and they're very impressive. They sound very guttural, primal, just very, very filthy. And I'm actually pretty impressed, because I know he can do the crazy high shrieks and stuff. I've already heard that. But to really witness well, maybe not the full breadth, but just the dynamic range he has is quite impressive, especially within the span of a single line sometimes. But of course, that's not to take away from the instrumentation at all. There's so much chaotic noise going on that I feel like one could easily overlook how complicated the instrumentation is. Not to get into like I'm so intelligent and so smart that I can just hear everything, because I can't. Though I am really intelligent and really smart. The most intelligent, one might say. But when I started kind of shifting my attention away from trying to follow along with the lyrics, I was able to take in a bit more of what was going on instrumentally. And I think for the first minute of the song, everything was just kind of going pretty crazy, pretty heavy. But then the guitar started to drift away and do its own kind of weird thing. And the drums were doing their own fills in the background. And everything was, it seems like a bunch of things that shouldn't be able to come together. But when you put it all together, somehow it just works. I don't know how they do it. It's like a combination of food that you wouldn't think would be yummy, but then you try it out and you're like, huh, that's pretty good. Am I gonna give an example for that? I don't know. Overall, yes, a very chaotic, very insane sound. The lead singer, quite the showman. We're gonna take a look at the lyrics here, at least the English translation. And of course, as always, since it's a Japanese translated into English, a lot of the times any idioms or any plays on the language won't translate very well. And maybe it won't make any sense at all. But let's just take a look, you know? Non-existent exit, your blind selves in the now, where everything you believe is destroyed. Let the beast hunger for blood leash out and change. The truth breaks out. Kill the absurd imagination. The mimicking monkey screams for sympathy. The crying won't make it stop. It gets thrown in and blood splatters for applause. Every time it gouges out, bursts like crazy, this regretful reality, perplexity of an absurd delusion. Sometimes the eye marks the horizon and, expanding spectacularly, move forth towards the break. And yes, I was right. This doesn't really make any sense on first glance. However, I think there's some consistency, at least in the lyrical themes and the ideas being presented here. Even if we can't dissect them all, you know, perfectly, because it's not I don't speak Japanese, but we can maybe get a general sense of what the song's about. The first thing that comes to mind when I'm looking at these lyrics is the idea of pushing the envelope, always seeking that next high, always stop it. Always seeing how far you can plumb the depths of depravity and still get a reaction. Perhaps the desensitization. I don't even speak English. People getting desensitized to, I don't know, shock value stuff, or just things that should be shocking and no longer are. The line mimicking monkey screams for sympathy. Maybe that could be the disconnected way with which people view other human beings and their suffering, and are unable to relate to it anymore, or relate to them, or really find any sympathy in their plight. Whereas the human in oneself is the beast hungry for blood, and the blood is what causes the applause heard around the world. Yeah, I think it's about, yeah, it could be about a few different things, but those are the ones that come to mind. One, the ever-expanding boundaries of depravity with which we're okay with consuming. And I'm not knocking that, of course, okay? You know, I intentionally seek it out sometimes. I like my media, fictional media, entertainment media, to go as extreme and as far as possible. And then the other idea being perhaps that we no longer are able to, or some people are no longer able to view other humans and sympathize with their struggles or something, or it's in a very disconnected way, in a very abstract way, where you're like, oh, that's so terrible, but then you get distracted by something else and you kind of forget about it. So I don't know. Those are the two ideas that kind of pop into my mind immediately as I'm reading the lyrics. So that's it, okay? We're gonna keep listening to the song. Oh. Man, I still can't believe those lows. They're so crazy. A very theatrical performance so far, of course. I wanted to make a note about just the live show itself. There seems to be such a huge crowd of people. I don't see a single one holding up their darn cell phone. These kids these days trying to get the Snapchat or whatever. They're all there to enjoy the music. They're all there for the experience of this crazy experimental metal show. I don't know. I just appreciate how into it all the band members are as well. I mean, of course, the lead singer is on a whole other level, just getting so into the songs. He's convulsing his entire body to deliver these lines. A very cool aesthetic, and honestly, I only paused the video because my dog was being annoying and I had to tell him to, I had to go put him down. So we can continue now. It should be quiet from now on. Man, the whistle register is pretty interesting too, that he can get up there. Man. Jeez, this guy is freaking out. Man, absolutely exhausted, hey? Okay, so that was Deer and Grey, Decayed Crow. Symphonic live version. Yeah, I mean, I think the obvious show stealer here is this lead singer guy. He gives 110% into every live performance I see him doing. It's pretty crazy. Obviously, it's very taxing as well, maybe physically as well as probably emotionally. But yeah, very chaotic, very abrasive sound, I think some might describe this, which is cool. I'm all into finding abrasive stuff. Yeah, I think everything just kind of comes together very well to a very distinct sound. I don't think a lot of bands could pull something like this off, and I don't think a lot of bands would have the lead singer who is up to the task of performing like this every single time. So I think Deer and Grey is a very unique creature in and of itself. Let's take a look at the second half of these lyrics here. See if we can see what is going on. English translation saying, even if the blood gushes on, cut it up, go on, remnant swallowed by temptation, shoot an air hole straight into the head with all your force. Even if the blood splatters, here you exist. The inviting hand, same face, a charade. Success and corruption, making a ruckus, hungrily in remorse. Judgment of the darkness, breakthrough, unable to conceal. The ideal shows itself, understand. This reads like a second year university English student trying to write a poem for the first time. That's only because it's the translation, so it doesn't make sense. That's just what it reminded me of, is when I was taking writing courses, and these people would write these poetries. Wow. You sure you took a writing course, Juniio? Yeah, I did, for an entire year or so. Poems that would have all these very disjointed, barely connected strands of thought that were very, they weren't happy, let's just say that. But of course, again, that's not a knock on the band. That's just the unfortunate reality when it comes to translations. But when he's talking about the shooting an arrow hole into the head with all your force, that immediately makes me think of like slaughtering cows at a slaughterhouse. You get like an air gun and you bolt a hole through their skull and then you put a tube into it or something. And I don't know. It has to do with punching a hole into their head with an air gun or something. So if we're going on the same theme of disembodied separation between ourselves and the rest of the world's suffering, it would be like kind of treating it with this cold, dispassionate way, as if we were simply slaughtering cattle. But yeah, it's all this language of violence and corruption, remorse, darkness, blood splatters, temptation. It's all these crazy images about pulling towards the darker side of humanity and of consciousness and stuff like that. So it makes for a pretty compelling song, pretty compelling idea. I've already remarked on the performances and how they were all pretty crazy, pretty good. Obviously, all the musicians are very, very highly skilled. I think you'd have to be to just keep up in an environment like this. I thought the live show was pretty cool. It'd be interesting to see them live for sure. All that said, overall, I wasn't super impressed by the song. I enjoyed it, but I think the other one I heard from them I enjoyed more, and maybe other stuff I heard from them I enjoyed more. And it's not because it's too crazy, but this one seemed, I don't know what it was. There was elements that were amazing. I love the vocalist, especially his lows in this song. I thought he did his lows very well. They impressed me every single time. And I love the chaotic noise of the instrumentation, and of course, it did all come together very well. But there was just something about it that didn't seem like it went far enough for me. And then maybe that's just because I hyped it up too much in my mind by reading the comments and other people's perception of the band. And I thought it would go a lot farther and go a lot crazier. And in the end, it went far and it went pretty crazy, but maybe it just didn't meet my expectations. Maybe that's my fault. I don't know. Either way, it's still an enjoyable song. I still think the band is great, and I'll keep listening to them. So, no harm done here. And that's it for the video, guys. If you liked it, make sure to like it. If you like the channel, make sure to subscribe. Of course, everybody have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow, probably, for some Friday filth action. And yeah. Bye.